Just in case you didn't get the memo, life can suck. Really, no matter what we do, we will be faced with tough situations, challenging decisions, and maybe the darkest of thoughts and periods of our lives. It is therefore vitally important to understand that it is our attitude to these very obstacles that will ultimately shape the success and fulfillment in our lives. The issue is that we face a litany of problems when we are kids, confused and barely able to comprehend the world. Some of us grapple with the feelings and want them to disappear as soon as possible. We want to evade that uncomfortable feeling and return to a state of calm and safety, and this is usually provided for us. This type of learned behaviour is then carried into adulthood. So instead of facing the situation in front of us, we learn to avoid problems by straightforward evasion or using certain psychological tricks. These tricks that in the short run provide relief are with each usage building up fear that will accumulate to form a self-constructed prison. Using this type of tactic, we are left looking at problems from the wrong perspective. We form a skewed and reduced opinion of our own potential, have no trust or value in our own opinions, and are afraid to make any decisions regarding our lives. We are unable to make any kind of sacrifice, and even small challenges seem like immovable objects, never mind the real tough ones. Jordan Peterson is a clinical psychologist from the University of Toronto. Now, I do disagree with some of his fundamental ideas, but his thoughts on facing problems merge with my Stoic values. Within one of his Maps of Meaning lectures, he tells a true story about a 4-year-old boy, his nephew, who for months was suffering from terrible night terrors that were waking him up screaming. This boy, by the way, did have some areas of instability in his family life. Jordan visited the young boy's house, and the boy was running around dressed as a knight with a sword, a shield and a helmet. At night time he would take his sword and shield to bed. So Jordan got speaking to him, and the boy described his dream. In the dream, he is standing surrounded by knee-high dwarfs. These dwarfs had beaks, and every time he would try to move, the dwarfs would jump up and bite him. A very frightening scenario for a young boy. And if you look behind all the dwarfs, away in the background there was a dragon. And every time this dragon would puff out fire and smoke, more dwarfs would be created. So there's no point fighting off the dwarfs because more would just be made. So Jordan tapped him and asked, "What could you do about that?" So the kid says he could jump up on the dragon's head. He could poke out his eyes with his sword so he couldn't see. Then he could go down the throat to the box where the fire came from, carve a piece out of that box, thereby destroying it, and use that piece as a shield. The child, before Jordan arrived, was already acting out in life what he knew he had to do. And after that conversation, he had no more night terrors. This is what Marcus Aurelius meant when he said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." He was telling us that we must not shy away from problems or shun our personal responsibility. We must be willing to sacrifice our comfort, go to the source of our problems to solve them, and then take something away. Problems, obstacles, they are our dragons, and we are the dragon slayers. No matter their size, if they are external or internal, it is our duty to be virtuous and face them. With each battle, won or lost, we extract something: increased confidence, new resolve, improved character, or increased motivation for the future. Our life's value and success will be directly correlated with the amount of dragons we are willing to face. It is then obvious, whether we like it or not, that it is a distinct lack of virtue that both constructs and maintains the mental prisons in which we find ourselves. If we are dragon slayers, then virtue provides our weapons and our protection. Virtue is our sword and our shield. I tell you, there is no problem that we come up against in this life that cannot be lessened by or overcome with the use of one of the virtues. And if you look at a list of virtues, what are they? Who does it make you think of? From mythology to literature and movies, the virtuous character is the archetypal hero. Being the age I am, the first hero that I can think of now is John McClane in the Die Hard movies. He didn't have any superhuman powers, he was vulnerable, and you could recognise his limitations. Sacrificing his own body, bloodied and battered, he carries on regardless. And not only that, he is fit to have a joke and a laugh along the way. To me, that temperament, that strength of character, is indistinguishable from that of a Stoic. So when you face problems, no matter the origin, and you don't know how to be virtuous, and maybe that idea itself is too abstract, try earnestly asking yourself, if the hero was in your shoes, what would he do right now?